What's up, guys? Welcome back to another iPopcorn for that review. I'm Chris,
I'm Nick.
and today we are talking about Imaginary. So this is the brand new Blumhouse movie directed by Jeff Wadlow, and we'll have a lot to say about it in just a second.
He asked you to do something that hurt you.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby.
I'm a OG boy. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my.
All right, guys, before we get into it, just want to remind you guys that if you like this video, it helps us out a lot if you hit like below, and also subscribe if you haven't already. We got videos like this coming out every week. But yeah, what is this movie about, Imaginary?
So when Jessica moves back into her childhood home with her family, her youngest stepdaughter Alice develops an eerie attachment to a stuffed bear named Chauncey she finds in the basement. Alice starts playing games with Chauncey that begin playful and become increasingly sinister. As Alice's behavior becomes more and more concerning, Jessica intervenes only to realize Chauncey is much more than the stuffed toy bear she believed him to be.
Wow, they give you a lot with that, huh?
Yeah, they're kind of dead.
They really tell you a lot.
I mean, yeah. They give you a lot in the trailers, too, I guess. You know, there's a little bear there that's doing some creepy things.
Sure. I guess let me just say this first. I have a big positive that I will say before we say anything else, which is that I do appreciate the use of practical effects here, and like some of the practical effects, especially the bear specifically when he's like, you know, a big creepy monster instead of just a tiny teddy bear.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. At least like the headpiece work, like I liked it. You know, otherwise it is just a guy in a fur suit.
Yeah.
But the top part of it, like I appreciate the work there, and there's a couple other little things that are done practically that I'm like, good on ya. For you could have done it CGI, but you did it practically, and I like it.
Yeah, I like that about the movie.
How about the rest of this movie?
Yeah, nah. So, like, the beginning scene, I was like, oh, this is actually kind of cool if they stick with this for the whole movie. It's kind of like a little, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Dreamscape type of thing. And I was like, oh, if they lean into this, this could be kind of interesting. But they don't at all.
Guess what they don't do at all?
Yeah.
They don't lean into the fun of it at all. It's just boring. It's just super boring. And it's full of plot holes, and
they try to
it's so boring you have time to think about them.
Yeah, and like, so there's this character who's an old lady. So first of all, she moves back to her childhood home, like we said, and I guess when she was like 5 years old, she moved away because her dad freaked out and did something, and she moved in with her grandma. And this old lady that was her babysitter, she kind of meets whenever they move back into the house with her new family. This lady's weird as shit. And then, like, you come to find out...
Yeah, there's a lot to say about her, but yeah.
Yeah, but
I think that's the same lady from The Happening, by the way. The old lady on The Happening.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever saw that one. But she's, like, dedicated her life to imaginary friend research and all this stuff. And this bothered me.
Written books about it.
Yeah, and the explanation of this bothered me. She's, like, saying, you know, oh, all these cultures have these things, the El Cuocoy and all this and blah, blah, blah. And then we have imaginary friends. It's like, no... What you're explaining is the boogeyman, and then like...
Yeah, it's like... So you're telling me, like, all these little kids throughout time are, like, best buddies with, like, demons?
Yeah.
Or, I don't know.
It's like the Boogeyman movie that was coming out, and they wanted to do something about the Boogeyman, and they're like, oh, we can't, let's make it an imaginary friend instead.
I thought it was going to almost be like a Megan type thing, where it's like people are buying up. Like, there's this popular bear, you know, that people are buying...
Hey kids, do you want a friend who will never leave your side? Introducing Chauncey the Bear. He'll never leave you. Never, ever.
And you know, there's something wrong with the whatever. But, man, so right from the beginning, like the whole thing with the stepmother and the angsty teen that hates her stepmom no matter how much of an angel. You know what I mean? Like, this lady is trying her best to be... It's not like she's like a wicked stepmother. Like, she seems like... really genuinely a nice lady, and she's just mad at her for no reason because that's her stepmom now, and that was just eye-rollingly embarrassing to me. And then the dad in the beginning, you forget he's even in the movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, he isn't for very long. He just kind of leaves.
Yeah, he's just like right in the beginning. There's this British guy that has no. He's fine, I guess. Like he's pretty blameless as far as like his acting in the movie, but he's just not given anything good to do, and he has like no chemistry with the lead here. And I don't know about you, but I thought our lead, what is her name, Jessica?
Yeah.
I thought Jessica. I don't know, man. It was like she was acting in a different movie. I mean, not a worse movie, but it was just like she's acting in like a soap opera. And everybody else,
a little bit.
I don't know. None of the acting really did anything for me, and like a lot of times I would say like I think it's just the writing, like these guys, but I don't know. I didn't see anything
kind of bad.
Yeah, I didn't see anything impressive there.
No, I mean,
and
it's just. I mean, I feel like we're kind of harsh on horror movies now because obviously this isn't a psychological horror movie, but it is just a bunch of jump scares.
I don't know if I'm just picky about them, and you know, I guess I'll admit that, but I just think you owe your audience a little more than this nowadays. It's just so generic and so, you know, it's just something. And like even when it's like the script is telling you that something more interesting is going on than what's going on. So like, you know, there's spoilers. There's gonna be spoilers throughout this. I strongly recommend not going to see this movie. Yeah. So just watch this video if you want, because there's no reason to watch this. But when they end up. You know, basically, Chauncey has this deal with her. This teddy bear has this deal with her where if she does these things on this list, she'll prove herself to him that she's like brave enough or whatever it is, and he'll let her come to Imagination Land with him, where everything's great and everybody's, you know, every day is the best day you've ever had.
Yeah. And
so she does all the things, you know, and I think a lot of it's pretty underwhelming. Like the trailer makes you think she slams her hand down on a nail. That doesn't even happen. You know, I don't know, all this stuff, you know, she's picking bugs off of a thing. It's pretty mild. I'm not, my mind's not blown by the list of things, but she has to do this list of things, and then she does those things, and there's like, they paint a square on the wall, and that's like a pathway to the Imagination Land, and we all end up going in there, you know, I'm skipping way ahead, but we all end up going in there, and it's like the lady who's the imaginary friend expert keeps talking about how like this place is amazing. You can do anything you want. Anything can be here that you want to ever dream or imagine. Look at it. Isn't it remarkable? And it's like you're looking around. It is literally not remarkable. It's just like the M.C. Escher painting with the triangle staircase that you've seen 1,000 times. It's been in like 4 other movies. It was in one of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. It's been in Labyrinth. Like you've seen this 1,000 times. And there's nothing else going on. It's just like checkerboard. And there's like cotton clouds with like LED lights flickering inside them. And she's like, isn't it remarkable? Think of the things that we can. And I'm like, show me anything cool at all. One thing cool would be fine. And then like the bear opens up the door and reaches out and mauls her. And it's completely like off camera. Like you don't get to see anything interesting at all. She just like gets drug in there and you see her come back out and you see it. Nothing really happens, and then like a door closes and blood comes out. It just felt so tame and so. There's no seasoning.
I like it very much. I think, did we add salt and pepper? I think we needed salt and pepper.
No, there's no salt and pepper in it. She can add it.
Yeah, I guess the movie was PG-13. I don't remember any cussing or anything.
There was one F word, which makes you think it is PG-13 because you get one F word.
Okay, yeah. But also the explanation of like why this imaginary friend is here and it's so mad is because it's Jessica's imaginary friend from when she was a child and she left it behind. That's a big plot hole because it's an imaginary. It's in your mind. How'd you leave it behind? You didn't leave it at the house.
I don't understand. And then like all the things that go on with her as a kid. Well, we're moving back into her house and she's like, "Oh, this is my room. I drew all over the walls and everything and." And you can sleep here if you want, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, we realize later, she doesn't remember anything about her childhood. She doesn't remember anything about the first 5 years. She doesn't remember that she was gone in the Imagination Land for however long. She doesn't remember why her... And like her dad, to save her, he has to, the last test to go through into Imagination Land is pain. And he pulls his front tooth out.
Oh, I didn't...
Is that what you would do? You can do anything to hurt yourself, and he chooses one of his front teeth?
So it's not even physical pain either. They like retcon that at the very end because she like says something shitty to the stepdaughter that hurts her to say because she tried to hurt herself and it didn't work.
The old lady that's like an expert in everything
oh, man.
is like, oh, but that other pain wasn't quite enough with the scissors. Like, she stabs herself in the hand with the scissors, and then she says the thing to upset the girl, and then that works, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that we needed a little more pain than that." I'm like, how do you know anything? Are you some expert in? What are you an expert in?
Yeah, and like the whole like who can see the bear, who can't, because like you find out that the therapist, the little girl,
Nobody can see it. Basically.
But it's like the kid that was trying to bang the teenage daughter definitely saw it. The teenage daughter saw it, but it's an imaginary friend that really only
they
Jessica
all like act like
Alice
later they didn't see it.
I don't know, man.
It's like later they're like, no, I don't remember any bear. What bear are you talking about? I'm like, what bear am I talking about? The bear. That's the whole.
Right.
Even if you don't know there was a real bear,
you could guess.
I don't know. And there was some really funny parts all throughout this, and I got to mention a couple. So one of them that was really funny to me is we finally find the girl. They're looking for the girl in Imagination World forever or whatever. They finally find her. She's in like her wildest dreams of an imagination.
Imagination.
It's how her room used to be. It's the same room, but it's how it used to be like a few months ago or whatever. And her mom's not crazy, which is what's happened now, and we don't get any explanation to that.
Yeah,
but her mom's crazy now. But so her mom's there, and she's not crazy, and she's got the dog that she's always wanted. It's like a Maltipoo. So this is her, like Willy Wonka's Wonderland. You can imagine anything in the world, and she's like, "What if my room was just like it was a few months ago, and I had a dog, and my mom wasn't crazy?" And that's about as good as I can do. And then they're like, "We got to go back. You're in danger here. We got to go back." And she's like, "No, I love it here. I have everything I want. Why would I ever leave?" And then, like, one thing it's like 11 seconds later. I don't even know what happens. 11 seconds later, they're like the new mom that's not crazy is like, "You can stay with me forever." And she's like, "No, I'm tired of being here. I want to go home now." And I'm like, I literally in the seat was like, "What? What made that change?"
They're like, "This movie's getting a little long. Let's go ahead and she's gonna want to leave now."
Oh my god! It was like so shortly after that, and then there's another thing that I thought was really funny. So skipping to the end, whatever. They have to do this ritual to like burn a thing. It doesn't matter, but they have to burn some stuff, and that starts a fire that sets the whole house on fire. And they're like, "Yeah, you know what? Let it burn." And it's like the fire starts, and the time elapsed. It's supposed to look like real time, and the time elapsed. The fire starts with the little box, and then it's like 1.1 second later, the roof is caving in.
Yeah.
Okay. and we got to get out of the house because it's full destruction. And then they go out to the street, and the lights go on a fire engine.
They're ready.
They're already ready.
Yeah.
The fire. Like, they were just like they were 7 feet away from this house that just set ablaze. It was just crazy. And then the whole thing, it keeps feeling like it's over. And then we got to look at them with the blankets wrapped around them. I'm like, can I leave yet? Why do we have to do the blanket thing we always got to do?
I know. God
in heaven. One last thing, and I'll shut up, and you can add whatever you want to add at the end.
Okay.
But one last thing is, we're in the room, and the old lady, before she got mauled by the bear, she's kicked the thing out of the way, so the door back to reality has shut. And now we're in the room with the little girl, and they're like, "How are we ever going to get out of here? We're going to be stuck here forever." And they're like, she says something about like, you can create by destroying too. And I was like, what? And then they start taking everything blue in the room and just sticking it to the wall with like hot glue and thread and needle, and I don't even know what was. It's like I felt like I took crazy pills right before this, and they just start sticking all this blue stuff to the wall, and then the wall starts glowing, and they're like, "It's working," and I was like,
"Yeah, okay, sure."
I guess why not? It has to be blue though. I don't know, because the blue paint. And then like every time they paint over the door, I'm like, couldn't you just go around the perimeter? But they always start with like the middle and spend a lot of time in the middle inside of the door.
Or, don't use your hands to paint over it. Just throw the paint bucket on the wall and then smear
that
it.
would be fine too. I don't even know how that's going to work. Yeah. Why do people go crazy when they see the thing? Because like her dad goes crazy.
Yeah, it's
because he saw the thing with the TV screen eyes.
Well, it's because you look into its eyes, and it's like you're looking into the deadlights or something, and it's you're seeing the imagination of a million kids, and it makes you go crazy.
Yeah, like the worst fears of a million kids at one time or something. But what does that have to do with it? The lore is so like cobbled together and mismatched and everything. It just makes me forget. This is the kind of movie that makes you forget that you do actually like movies, and movies are good.
Yeah.
And can be enjoyable. Because, yikes. I don't know. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about there? I'm sure I...
No, I think we covered all of it. Don't see the movie.
Bless. Don't watch this movie. Yeah. They were talking about like a future mashup between Megan and Chauncey. And I'm like,
I would rather
please don't ever do that.
No.
So yeah, not a glowing recommendation. What would you rate this film?
I'm gonna give it like a 1.5.
Yeah, I think that's about right. Now I'll give it a 2 out of 10 because of the practical effects, but
yeah.
it's almost just offensive. It's almost offensive to make a movie
It's
as bad as
Blumhouse.
this.
Like, yeah, I know. I don't.
What are they doing?
I don't know.
What are they doing over there? They're just missing and missing and missing. They're on a losing streak.
For sure.
It can't last like that forever. So we'll see. But yeah, I'll give it a 2. Bad. All right. Well, hopefully you enjoyed this video more than we liked the movie. And yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. And we appreciate you watching very much as always. And we look forward to seeing the next one, guys. Thanks.
Yeah, see ya.
Thank you.